Welcome to the Opening Bid Podcast. I'm Yahoo Finance Executive Editor Brian Sozzi. Like I always say, this is the podcast that will make you a much smarter investor. An exciting episode on tap today. Yahoo Finance unveiling its 2024 Company of the Year award winner, and that award goes to the world's largest retailer, Walmart. And make sure to check out all of our exciting Walmart coverage. It's all over the Yahoo Finance homepage. Watch our extended interview with Walmart CEO Doug McMillon and CFO John David Rainey on YouTube. Listen to the full interview wherever you get your podcasts, like Apple Music and Spotify. And check out all our coverage by scanning the QR code for Yahoo Finance. Now, before today's feature interview here on Opening Bid, here's a clip from our conversation with Walmart CEO Doug McMillon. Here's what he told me exclusively about the company's recent investments and why it had a big year of success.
I go back to before the pandemic when I think about that and the work that we did to make some investments. We invested in wages for our associates. We invested in our people, things like education. We invested in lower prices, we invested in e-commerce, we invested in technology, all within a pretty tight period of time. That obviously creates some pressure on the bottom line, and that creates some overhang for how people think about Walmart. But if you get to the pandemic and you look at how behaviors changed, and curbside pickup, for example, grew at a much faster rate, delivery grew at a faster rate, that was work that we had already done before the pandemic that bore fruit during that period of time. And I think it caused a lot of people, customers, our associates, to recognize that we were on the right track, and we just kind of haven't looked back since then.
All right, let's get to our feature interview today. Britton Ladd, strategy and supply chain consultant. Britton, good to see you in person for a change. I've been following your work for many years. Good to see you, man.
It's good to see you.
So Walmart winning the Yahoo Finance Company of the Year award. You've covered Walmart and watched what it does, what it's done for many years. What has surprised you about the company this year? Why Walmart, at least from our standpoint, won this award? Strong financial results versus rivals like a Target, and the stock price 80%. That's what caught our attention, but what has caught your attention?
The main thing is that I think Walmart has finally realized they're no longer just a retailer. And I think that Walmart has looked out there and said, we really need to become a destination across all incomes, all demographics. And they've done that. But the thing that I also like about Walmart is that they have formed some really interesting partnerships. The company 345 Global, for example, it's a macro and micro space planning company, shopper insights, shopper engagement.
It's like a data intelligence
outfit. Data intelligence outfit. But the CEO of the company is a man named Mark Edwards, and he's brilliant. And their team created what's arguably the #1 leading retail platform out there. And Walmart partnered with them several years ago. And there's a team from people from 345 Global who work in Bentonville. And Walmart has been able to gain such a much better understanding of who's coming in the store, what are they buying, where should I be putting these products, what products should I be putting together, and that's really helped Walmart. So when I look at Walmart, I say it's the strategic partnerships, it's the fact that they really want to change the perception of who they are, and they invested in it. So they went big, and the thing that I like about Walmart is they're now thinking big.
What surprised me, so we had the opportunity to spend the day in Arkansas with Doug McMillon, of course the CEO, CFO John David Rainey. But when I was in that Walmart supercenter in Arkansas, what struck me is how much Walmart has leaned into groceries. I mean, we still think of Walmart, first thought is I'm going to go there, get a cheap shirt, and maybe pick up a soda. But this is a full-on grocery store. How has that changed the company's business?
In 1986, Walmart made the decision to open up a supercenter, and inside that supercenter was a full supermarket. And that changed the future and the history of Walmart. So Walmart today controls about 21 to 25%, depending on what statistic you look at, of the grocery market. And Walmart generates about 58% of their sales from groceries. So groceries is everything for Walmart. But here's the thing that most people don't think about. Consumers buy groceries more than they buy anything else. So they are constantly going into the store to buy groceries. So Walmart is like, well, if we have a grocery store, when they come to Walmart, not only are they going to buy groceries, but they're going to buy a shirt or trousers. They're going to buy something for automotive. They're going to buy something
that auto
for fitness.
section, full disclosure, I got my oil changed at the Walmart oil change. But you know what? Walmart has an oil change center. Target does not have one.
Not only does Target not have it, but I believe what we're going to see is that Walmart is going to add about 100,000 new auto parts on their online marketplace. Walmart is absolutely going to add more auto parts to their stores. And for those facilities, those stores that Walmart was using as clinics, I think they're going to convert those to standalone auto parts stores. So auto parts is a really massive investment opportunity for Walmart, and I absolutely think that within a few years they'll be bigger than Pep Boys, O'Reilly's, and so forth.
Pep Boys is a disaster. I have them. They've actually, so Pep Boys by me. I live in Long Island. They have closed the store part, and now they're just auto centers. But the retail store is still kind of open. It's just there's empty space. What a horrible chain.
Correct. And so Walmart looks at these things and they're like, we can do that.
Yeah.
We can be bringing these customers in. But the other thing I think Walmart will do with autos, and I've written about this, I'm encouraging them to do it. I think they're going to partner with Tesla. And I won't be surprised to see Tesla automobiles eventually being sold in Walmart stores.
But this goes, some of the things you're laying out here, I want to talk about what you wrote recently. I saw your post on LinkedIn, Walmart 2030. It is a company moving at a speed that you and I, who have followed Walmart for a couple decades, have not seen before. Is it abnormal to see a company this size, thousands of stores, billions in revenue, move at this speed?
Well, I think it's a necessity. What we have to take into account is, so who's chasing Walmart? And it's Amazon. And when you look at what Amazon has accomplished, a company that didn't even start until 1994, Walmart's been in business since 1962. So Walmart looks out there and says, we really have to be able to do something different, to do something big. And so they're having to do these things because they know who's chasing them. And then we take a look at Temu, Shein. So there's really a lot of competition out there. Walmart has more predators.
But Walmart shouldn't be putting up these results. I mean, there is Amazon. And despite Target having a bad year, they are still Target and they're selling things online. It's just, it's hard to get your hands around how Walmart is able to put up these type of strong results. Look, the retail environment's very competitive too, and the consumer's not exactly in amazing shape.
Well, but we have to take into account also, I think Walmart has arguably the best CEO in retail, in Doug McMillon. Doug has surrounded himself with really smart, capable people, and Doug has challenged his team. Doug has also said, how do we really enable our growth? Well, that's through supply chain management, through logistics. They've partnered with Symbotic. Walmart, I think, owns 62% of Symbotic. That figure may not be right. But they're opening up new facilities, fully automated. They're rethinking the way that they fulfill groceries to the stores, to the customer. So Walmart has really said, we have to become the leader in supply chain and logistics enables growth.
So this is really, Walmart has morphed into, yeah, they're a retailer, but it sounds like they should be also recognized as doing a lot of good things in technology. And finally, that is starting to pay off and they're widening their lead.
Not only should they be recognized as one of the leading technology companies, but their $20 billion of investment in technology, that is what has transformed Walmart. So Walmart hasn't improved, they've transformed. And there are other things that I believe that they're going to have to do to transform the company. And as I wrote in Walmart 2030.
You wrote, yeah, Walmart 2030. You actually say Walmart is vulnerable. How so?
Walmart is incredibly vulnerable because here's the problem. Walmart has fixed infrastructure in all these stores, about 4,500 stores in the US. Now you have a company like Amazon that wants to be in groceries, but Amazon doesn't want to get into an arms race. They don't want to try and say, well, we have to build the same number of stores as Walmart. So what Amazon is thinking of is saying, so how do we leverage technology in a different way? That's by opening up automated micro-fulfillment centers. Amazon has built their own micro-fulfillment automated robotic systems. Most people are probably familiar with a company called AutoStore. Amazon did partner with them to an extent. But Amazon has built their own automated micro-fulfillment centers. And these are about 50,000 square foot facilities. And these are to do nothing more than to fulfill online groceries. So Amazon can open up thousands of these, but much closer to customers. The other thing that Amazon has done, and I've written about this and we talked about this earlier, is the fact that Amazon has taken Rivian vans and they have put automation in the back of the vans to where now Amazon has a mobile retail.
It's wild.
So just as you can easily hail an Uber, soon you'll be able to hail a store.
Yeah, I need a pair of socks. Come on by and bring a Rivian van. I mean, But the whole definition of a retail store is changing then.
Well, that's what I challenged Amazon to do in an article I wrote in 2023 about Amazon automate the back of Rivian vans and change the definition of a store. So Amazon theoretically believes that they can have as much as 15,000 of these vans roaming around, possibly by as early as 2030. So that changes the definition of retail. The other thing that we have to take into account, Amazon is a studio, Amazon has AWS, and Amazon is always investing in other things related to technology and so forth as well. So I think the thing that Walmart should do is, so by 2030, what else can we do? And in the article, I throw out, I think, very interesting ideas about, well, what if Walmart acquired Embraer, the airline, the aviation company? What if Walmart acquires American or Delta, Southwest?
What would it do with those?
Well, imagine having an audience in the hundreds of millions globally to where instead of just letting the customer sit there in the seat, you actually create a very interactive ability for them to shop. And so it's a new way for Amazon, for Walmart, I should say, to look at it and say, well, look, we can actually change the way we are interacting with customers. And they create new customers. The main thing is to diversify, is really what I'm talking about. I think a partnership with Palantir would be fascinating. I think that Walmart should just simply look out there and crush all assumptions, think big, and say, so how do we position ourselves so where we're not so dependent on retail by 2030, but we have these other lines of business that actually are generating significant revenue for us.
Hang with us, Britton. We're going to go off for a quick break. We'll be right back on Opening Bid. All right, welcome back to Opening Bid. Having a fascinating chat with Britton Ladd, strategy and supply chain consultant. We have another chat here, a portion of our interview with Doug McMillon we want to get to. We spoke to Doug about Walmart's decision to bring employees back to the office. A little controversial. Here's what Doug told us.
We've been trying to make our way back as soon as it was safe from a health point of view. It's just so much more effective. We learn so much by being around each other. We move faster, you build trust. I think companies generally kind of traded on some of the equity and trust they built with their teams during the course of the pandemic. And we could execute remotely from a task point of view, but not as much innovation, not as much relationship building. The things that we get by being together are sometimes hard to measure, but really valuable to us as we try to shape a culture and attract people that are purpose-driven and have them feel really connected to the company.
All right, let's get Britton back into this conversation. Britton, one of the hardest decisions that I think Doug had to make this year, and I asked him about this, was to bring workers or corporate workers back to their new, soon-to-open, beautiful headquarters. I mean, it's really like a palace, 350 acres, swimming pools in the fitness center. You mentioned that Doug was probably one of the best leaders that you know of. Is part of that role, is it to make these decisions, and what's the blowback, on having to bring workers back to the office?
Doug had no choice. He has this beautiful campus and it's empty. So it made no sense for him to say, well, we just spent all this money, we built this campus, but go ahead and work remotely. I think that he absolutely has made the right decision. I think Andy Jassy of Amazon has made the right decision to bring their employees back. But Doug needed to bring the employees back. And I think the thing that a lot of people don't understand is that retail really is interaction at the corporate level. To be able to go talk to someone who's a buyer, to go talk to someone who's in logistics. And yes, you could maybe do that with instant messaging, but it's not the same environment and it's not the same culture. And so I support exactly what Doug is doing. I've been to the campus. I think it's incredible. So it'd actually be foolish for him to say, yeah, just go ahead and keep working remotely. But at the end of the day, I think what Doug is saying is that we are a company. And a company means we are together and we are working together and we are going to win together. And that's why he brought them back. And a lot of people complained about it, but I think Doug was right by saying, well, then maybe Walmart isn't the place for you because you have to buy into what we're doing. And that's just simply what I think he had to do. And I think Doug is truly a great leader for that.
Another interesting call came recently in early December is Walmart rolling back its DEI initiatives. I think that surprised a lot of folks. Of course, Target had to pull back on some of its own the sources that I talked to for this, they said they weren't surprised, and it might impact the company longer term. What do you think the impact is, and why do you think Walmart took that stance?
Well, I think Walmart took the stance just like so many other companies have taken that stance. DEI has become a political firestorm. And now we have the Trump administration about to take office. And we have people in the Trump administration openly saying how they want to eradicate DEI. They want to go after companies and file suits against them. So I think that what Doug and other CEOs have done is saying, look, we maybe went a little too far on the DEI path. Let's maybe bring them more towards the middle. But the last thing we want to do is see our company on the headline news, on the internet, on articles about us being unfair to anybody, or being a woke company and we're not really taking the best interests of everyone. So I think he really made, again, the right decision to do that. Do I think it's going to have a long-term impact? No. I really think what we'll see probably around 2025, 2026 are really companies who say, you know what, this whole merit, excellence, and intelligence initiative, MEI, really is best for us, and I think that's just simply what they're going to do.
Well, I had a chance to catch up with Walmart's Chief People Officer, Donna Marsh. She told me the company is now focused on belonging. But look, let me push back on that. Walmart is a microcosm of this country. I mean, they employ millions of people. When you think Walmart, you think of America. Shouldn't they be taking a stronger position here on DEI initiatives like they had been, and leading on a front like this? Because once Walmart moves, and we have another piece hitting from our senior reporter Brooke DePalma on Walmart's DEI initiatives, but you can find that on the Yahoo Finance homepage. But once Walmart moves like this, other companies could use that as an umbrella, and then suddenly, a year from now, we're talking about how a lot of these key initiatives have been rolled back and has set the country back.
No. Number one, it won't set the country back. I think what we're really seeing is that what the majority of the American people want is fairness. They don't want to see special programs for anybody. And what they really want is the recognition that the people who work very hard, who go the extra mile, they're the ones who should be recognized most. So do I think somehow Walmart rolling back DEI hurts corporations? No. I think what it does is it says we don't want to be a political target. And I've always disagreed with companies whose the CEO says, we need to take a position on something related to culture. I'm like, no, you don't. Your job is to create customers. Your job is to retain your customers.
Well, do you think this sends customers away?
Absolutely not. Absolutely. No. What percentage of people honestly are going to say, I can no longer shop at Walmart to buy those groceries where I'm saving on average 10% because I disagree with a political move that they made? Or I disagree with them that they rolled back DEI. That's a statistically insignificant number of people who would even think about doing that. So no, I don't think this harms Walmart at all. And if anything, I think this really gives an opportunity for Walmart to say, you know what? This is how we've changed our culture, because now we've gotten so much better at saying, have we opened up every position so that anyone who wants to actually apply for it can? So for example, I think corporations have become very smart by saying, why are we requiring college degrees for roles that don't require a college degree? And by eliminating just the college degree requirement, look at how many more people can apply. And I think those are the types of policies that we really want to see. And I think that's what Walmart will increase.
This opens the door for something else that you wrote recently, and there's been chatter about this in the past. Do you think Doug McMillon, CEO of Walmart, will run for president in 2032? Look, Doug looks the part. He's got the height. He's probably got the bank account. I'm sure he's got a lot of support. But let me hear your case for that.
I actually came up with this in 2016. I was looking out there. I had thought Donald Trump was going to win in 2016, but I was taking it out several years, and I'm like, who really out there is someone like a Donald Trump, but someone who was probably more embraceable, or someone who was maybe going to be more positive. The
characters are too different. Like Doug is
completely,
totally different human being.
So completely different. And when I looked out there, I'm like, and I was looking at who the Democrats were choosing, and they had Joe Biden, then it was Kamala Harris, and I'm like, by 2028, the Democrats are going to realize they have to have more of a center candidate, someone more moderate. Really, what the Democrats want is the next Bill Clinton. And when I was reviewing candidates, I'm like, the same person kept coming to my mind. Doug McMillon. Because Doug McMillon, if you think about it, he knows America, he knows business, he knows global politics, he knows global geography. He certainly understands what it takes to manage a very diverse company. And I think he's really become an expert at really getting things done and engaging with people.
Yeah, he did tell us. I asked him how he's a different leader. I originally met him in 2017. He said he's moving faster, he's taking more risks. But I did ask him, Britton, where do you see yourself, in a couple of years? He's like, wherever my wife Shelley told me to be. I mean, he was joking. I didn't expect he was going to tell me that, yeah, I'm going to make a run for Senate or the presidency. But I mean, your points are well taken here.
Well, and I believe, so I wrote there were two things. I believe he could run for the Senate. But if he stays in Arkansas, that's a little tricky because it's a really heavy Republican state. But I believe by 2032, or actually probably around 2030, we'll know if Doug is going to do this. And I strongly encourage Doug to form a committee now. And I think he should truly look at 2032 as being the year that he runs for president. And I give him the odds-on, to make him the odds-on favorite. He is really an exceptional individual.
With a couple of minutes left in the podcast, we always love to ask our guests for some hot takes. Now, you wrote a bunch of other predictions as part of your Walmart 2030, just call it manifesto, or long-term outlook. Give me one that you think would surprise our audience.
I think there are several. Number one, I think Walmart acquiring the Los Angeles Chargers or another NFL team. And Walmart building a stadium in Bentonville, Arkansas, Walmart Field, home of the Arkansas Chargers. Something like that. I tried to get them to buy the Chicago Bears. But they just were like, oh, wow, that's not something we want to do.
Well, the Walton family did buy the Broncos.
They did. They bought the Broncos. But I don't imagine that you could ever see the Denver Broncos being moved to Arkansas. But I really think that it's something that could happen. I think it's possible. And I hope that Walmart would think about doing something like this. I hope that they're willing to make big acquisitions or really form big partnerships. A partnership with Qualcomm, for example. I think Qualcomm may end up acquiring Intel. And so I think Walmart should have their hand in these types of things. Doesn't mean they have to make multi-billion-dollar, $100 billion acquisitions. But I think that Walmart should step back and say, how do we diversify 15% of our business by 2030? But the other thing that I will say about the football, 20% of ESPN is owned by Hearst Media. And that's an easy one, I think, for Walmart to do. Walmart could buy that 20%. Become a minority owner in ESPN, and that helps them then become much more into media.
Well, if Walmart goes out there and buys the Chargers, you're coming back here, Britton Ladd. Britton Ladd, good to see you. Thank you for sharing us your perspective on our Company of the Year award winner, Walmart. We appreciate it.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here.
All right. Like I've been saying throughout this podcast today is the Yahoo Finance Company of the Year award coverage. And that is going to Walmart winning that award. Make sure to check out all of our exciting Walmart coverage on yahoofinance.com and our lovely app. Watch our extended interview with Walmart CEO Doug McMillon on YouTube and John David Rainey, the CFO of Walmart. Listen to the full interview wherever you get your podcasts, such as Apple Music and Spotify. And be sure to check out our coverage by scanning the QR code for Yahoo Finance. I hope I checked all of those bullets, or my producer Ray is going to yell at me. Thanks for joining us on the latest episode of Opening Bid. On the hunt for the hottest market commentary? Then join me, Yahoo Finance's executive editor Brian Sozzi, on Opening Bid, the show with unrivaled insights from top money managers and analysts. New episodes of Opening Bid every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday starting at 8 a.m.